Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Before we get started, I wanted to announce that my niece is being a little too loud today, so you might hear her in the background, so I apologize for that. Soon it will not matter because I will be not living here, so look forward to that. I know I am. For those of you who don't know, once again, I am in a film club at SUNY Oneonta. And so this is going to be my last review for them until next semester. But they had me watch Singin' in the Rain. Singin' in the Rain was released in 1952, which is a long time ago. It was written by Betty Condon and Adolph Green and directed by Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly. Quick little fun fact. First of all, this is a non-spoiler review, although it's Singin' in the Rain, you probably know it already. I was in a production of Singin' in the Rain 5 years ago. I played young Cosmo. So if you remember from the first scene of the film, when Gene Kelly and them are going up to the premiere, they have a little flashback sequence which shows Don and Cosmo in their violin dance and stuff at vaudeville and stuff, and I did that for my production, and I did a bunch of other stuff and stage crew, and was also like literally stage crew for the show. So it was a lot of fun. So I've seen the show dozens of times because I wasn't on stage too long for this one. But boy, is it long! It's not long here. It really isn't, but it's long for the show on stage, so it's even longer. So this felt like a nice little breezy dream in comparison to the show. But essentially what happens is we're set in the world where there's black and white movies and they're only there's no sound, right? That's ridiculous. Why would anyone have sound to a movie? And it's about the invention of the sound that can go with the movies. And basically what happens is we have Don Lockwood, we have Lena Lamont, and Lena Lamont talks a lot like this, right, which sounds ridiculous. And the issue is that they want to produce talkies, right, which are movies that can talk, which is normal for us now, but not back then. And essentially what happens is they're freaking out because they can't have Lena Lamont in the film because she's going to sound ridiculous, right? So what they do is they dub the voice with somebody else, Kathy Selden, who is this young, attractive lady that Don falls in love with. And a lot of issues ensue, particularly when Lena Lamont finds out and she gets all mad and tries to stop it. Ooh, excuse me. But overall, it's a fun little musical. It really is. And while it is a good musical, there are some issues. I'd like to talk about one big issue right now, which was the long musical I stutter, I apologize. Sequence at the end of the film, where we have this song. It's like Broadway Rhythm, I think it's called. And boy, is it long. It was like literally like 20 minutes long, and I'm sitting here like, it has nothing at all to do with the plot of the movie. At all. It really doesn't. And it just kind of felt weighed down by like, oh, well, we already wrote the music, so we gotta do it anyway, so get it in the movie somehow. And honestly, it didn't work very well. I was prepared to give this a really good review, and then that scene, and I try not to let one scene ruin it, but it's a 20-minute scene. Like, it's at least 10 minutes. I might be over-exaggerating, saying it's 20, but it's at least like 10 minutes long. And I'm like, we didn't need it, and the music wasn't that good either. That's another thing I do want to talk about. I don't really care for the music very much here. There's some songs that I love, like Make 'Em Laugh is one of my favorite songs for any musical. And I do like Good Morning, and Singin' in the Rain is always a good one, but like, the rest of it kind of felt meh. And even in the musical, there's a lot of extra stuff, like What's Wrong With Me, which Lena Lamont sings, and a bunch of stuff like that I really enjoyed that wasn't in the film. Which is good, because the film was pushing it with that 20-minute long dance sequence that had nothing to do with the plot of the film at all. But the acting was really strong here. That's like one thing that I really did like about the show, was it is very well acted. I'm very impressed with Gene Kelly here, and of course Debbie Reynolds and Gene Hagen and Donald O'Connor. All of them are great. So let's go ahead and start talking about them, because I think they're definitely the attraction that brings people to see this movie. Gene Kelly as Don Lockwood. I've heard working with him is the worst thing you could ever do in your life, but to his credit, he's very good. He really is. He's really good at singing, but his acting in particular is really, really strong. He plays this kind of an arrogant actor who's starting to realize that, acting is kind of weird anyway, so maybe I shouldn't be as arrogant as I have been, and like all that fun jazz that ensues in the movie, really it was great. I did like his portrayal in this movie, and I haven't seen anything else in him, I think, but maybe I'll look into looking at some other stuff. Maybe down the line we'll do a series of him. It is the 50s, so it was a long time ago, but I do need to catch up on some old film noir stuff. Donald O'Connor as Cosmo Brown. Cosmo's my favorite character. I'm a little biased because I was young Cosmo in the show, but he's also he's really funny, and he has that make him laugh sequence that I really like. It really is great. He broke his ankle or something doing that, and he had to do it 3 times, and he didn't like it, but he did it anyway because he was supposed to. And honestly, it was really fun, and I'm really happy they did it the way they did it. My goal in life one day is to one day recreate that sequence. That'd be a lot of fun, the exact sequence. I think that'd be really, really fun. Debbie Reynolds as Kathy Selden. Kathy Selden is the young, attractive girl that Don falls in love with, and she can sing and she can act and all that stuff, but she's not on the big screen because she kind of thinks it's dumb, but then she realizes, it might actually be fun to do that, so then she does, and that's really the romantic part of the movie, and I liked it. I think it was good. I think it was a good issue to have, right, where Don likes Kathy, but Kathy doesn't really like Don too much, or at least she's not letting on that she does. And it works here because it's one of the first times that it ever happened, right? Because you watch movies now and it's oh, that's every day, but this is the first time. It's one of the first times at the very least. It's the 50s. But it worked well. It was a good excuse to have romance. And I hate bad excuses for romance. It's a movie, so it's got to have a bunch of romance in it, right? Not necessarily. It doesn't have to. I got this director's chair. Okay, that's pretty cool. But it's interesting that they did that because it was the first time. That's basically an original idea right there. I think it was really well done, and I did like it quite a bit. And we have Jean Hagen as Lena Lamont. Lena Lamont's great. I hate her with a passion. Don't get me wrong. I hate her with a passion. She's annoying as hell to listen to. She's ow, but Donnie, we're in love. And it's oh my God, please. He doesn't like you. But she was great. That's the point of her characters, to hate her, so well done. Overall, I think it's a really, really good movie. I really do. I think it's fun, and it's a good movie to watch and to pay attention to for at least the hour and 20 minutes. And then, of course, it's but here's a really long dance number you get to listen to. And it's you just could have not had that, and it would have been great. And I do have some issues with the directing, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's hard to pinpoint what is directing and what is acting at this point. And especially considering Gene Kelly did both of them. But there were just some issues that alright, take for example the Singing in the Rain dance. That was really well done, right? Really, really good. And then they had other things that just felt way too structured, right? Singing in the Rain felt loose, and Gene Kelly could just run around and dance and do awesome stuff with dance involved. And then they do other things, say, the Good Morning sequence, which felt a little too over the top for me. Even though it's a good song, it's a little too over the top for me. And of course, the 20-minute long dance sequence at the end of the movie, which is so freaking long, it's unbelievable. I can't express my hatred for that sequence enough. I was sitting here on my bed, watching this movie at 10 at night, and I'm oh my goodness, I just want to go to sleep now. I was totally engaged in the movie, and they're oh, but this, and I was why? So that happened. But overall, a really, really fun movie. If you guys want to give it a shot and take a watch, it's on HBO Max. And just be wary that towards the end of the film it doesn't get a whole lot better. The ending's really fun. I do like the ending after the sequence. It's really good. But the sequence itself is not very good. But I'm going to go ahead and give Singin' in the Rain an A-. Really, really fun movie. It's a really old movie. If you guys like old movies and you guys like musicals, this is one for you. If you guys want something, a recommendation for a newer musical that just came out, A Week Away is now available on Netflix. It is a Christian musical, technically, but it's a fun musical nonetheless. I do have a review on it on the channel, and honestly, it's a movie that I've been watching sometimes before I fall asleep because it's such a really good, uplifting musical, and it's not the best movie of all time, no. But it's fun to listen to, and the soundtrack's nice, and the story's fun, so it's a fun show to watch and listen to. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and do that. Looking forward to the rest of the week. What week is it? Okay. We're starting the Lord of the Rings tomorrow. We're starting Lord of the Rings tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune into that. The Fellowship of the Ring is Monday. We're doing it every Monday. We're doing a Lord of the Rings review until we get through the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in release order. Then Tuesday's The Great Gatsby. Wednesday, Jessica Jones Season 2. Thursday, Welcome to Marwen. Friday, Chef. Saturday, Last Year at Marienbad. And Sunday, I will be reviewing all John Green books and ranking them in order of my least favorite to my favorite. So make sure you guys check that out. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.